One, 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 one. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof. Welcome to one-on-one at LegacyMaker Sports Network. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 131 of 101 here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. And I'm excited today. I know you said, Darrell, you said it every episode, but I am. I'm very excited today because for the first time in one-on-one history, we have a LegacyMaker team member joining us for an episode, and
a legend, by the way,
and a legend, ladies and gentlemen. And look, very excited to have my guy. I call him the hardest working man that I know, and this is no exaggeration. If you know Rob, then you know my man is working in some form of the fashion. But nobody works as hard as my man Robb Johnson. Rob, how you doing today, brother?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I'm here. Hey, LegacyMaker Sports Network, Robb Johnson Media, Robb Johnson Entertainment. I'm entertaining the people. I'm giving y'all all the entertainment you want. Hey, it's been a good, almost 7 years? You guys discovered me while I was at work and calling into your radio station, making Jay upset. But hey, I made it. I made it to the LegacyMaker, baby. Let's go.
I remember the good old days when Rob would come in, man. Look, Rob come in firing hot in those early days, and that it was like. And I remember saying to myself, I was like, "This guy's got it. We got to bring him in when we start this thing up." So,
by the way, make sure you guys also check out nkccnews.com publication I write for. Yes, I do that too.
Like I said, the man is a man of many dreams. I'm just telling you what I know. Well, look, let's go ahead and get this one-on-one episode started as we get to learn about Mr. Robb Johnson, the founder of the Robb Johnson Media, and of course, LegacyMaker Sports Network, columnist and journalist. He does a little bit of everything. But let's go ahead and get started with
photographer.
Well, that's right. Can't forget the photographer part. Cannot forget it because my man is everywhere. With that being said, Rob, we want to start off by checking in on you, man. How are things right now for Robb Johnson?
They suck, just like the rest of America right now, because right now we're embroiled in so many things. But in all seriousness, I mean, listen, man, things could be a lot better for all of us. But I'm good. You know, I'm here. I'm with the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Darrell works hard. Everybody, the team works hard. You know, just keeping a positive mindset. And that's my ultimate message for today is keep a positive mindset. Everything is not going to be all right every day. Everything is not going to be roses and, you know, peaches and whatever else they want to, a phrase they want to throw out there. But just keep a positive mindset and continue to do what you feel you should do to make your dreams come true, because they eventually will come true.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will, sir. Let's get into how or where your passion for sports came from when you were 7, 8, 9 years old and giving people the business back in Little League. Tell us where that passion of sports came from. What gave you your passion for sports?
Well, my first love was baseball. I wanted to be a major league baseball player. And when I was little, you know, I played for, what was it, the Charles City Cubs or the Charles City Cardinals, whatever the hell it was. All I know is they're in the same division. Anyway, I was like, I'm going to be a baseball player. And we started with T-ball. So I was playing T-ball. Man, I was doing so good, et cetera, et cetera. Then there was one fatal Saturday. I'm running around the bases, and this girl, I don't remember who she was. I know she was cute, though. I don't remember who she was. She did this. She took her lip, and she did, She's like, she was grimacing at me. She put her hand out with the glove, knocked me on my butt. And from there, I was like, you know what? I think me and baseball, I think I'm just going to talk about baseball, but I love baseball. Okay. Then my first time playing organized basketball, we played in Hopewell. where I scored 15 points for the first time. I was excited. I was killing. I was doing my thing. We went to Roanoke, got destroyed. The next year we came back. We got beat by this Verona team, Verona Gold, Richmond Gold, whatever you call them. I trained for the next 2 months and said, I'm going to get it done. So I go to Roanoke, we win the championship. As far as football goes, man, I started playing in 98, 99. I was the biggest kid out there. I was afraid to go out there, but I started dominating. So that's my backstory on me playing sports and my passion. But if you really want to ask me where did I get my beginning about sports as far as like looking at it, saying I want to do this, had to be early days of NBA or NBC. Had to be John Madden, had to be Pat Summerall, hearing the calls, hearing people like Bob Costas talk sports. If it had not been for the sports reporters, and they're not on TV anymore, if it had not been for the sports reporters, I probably would not have the passion. I remember, because I don't think I had cable at home, but I had cable at my dad's house. So whenever I went to my dad's house, every Sunday morning when I would get up, I was like, it wasn't about the games. It was about got to go watch the sports. Now, what was it? I can't remember the show, Darrell. I think it was it wasn't NFL Insiders, but it was Inside the NFL.
Inside the NFL came on
Inside HBO. The NFL on ESPN every Saturday morning. Oh no, sorry, NFL Matchup. Back in the old days of the real NFL Matchup, where they would preview the games. Also, I know it's going to sound weird, the setup of Fox NFL Sunday, where they used to go live, James Brown said, we're going to go see what's up. And just the way that they presented the presentation that you don't see today, the presentation of sports. And back then, we didn't have the internet. Internet was around, but it wasn't as prevalent as today.
Right.
So you had to go read, you had to go talk to the old heads, you had to do research. So I think doing research and really seeing the different things about sports and knowing the history, because if you don't know the history of sports, then you're not going to be good at sports. Yeah. So learning sports and seeing the history of sports, seeing the old stats, just seeing some of the greatest players that ever did it. And man, that's my love of sports. And just like I said, going outside in the backyard, throwing the football to myself, acting like I'm scoring a touchdown, outside for hours, running back kick returns, doing all that. I absolutely love sports, and I have respect for it. That's the difference between our era and today. We have respect and love for the game. We're not doing it just to do it. We're doing it because we have passion for it. You have to have passion for this. And if you're just doing it to get clicks and likes, and it's not really a love.
It's not completely for you. I mean, some people. I'm not gonna say you can't make a career off that. You can, because we've seen people do it, but it's not the same. You can tell when people are authentic about what they're doing, and
that's the most important thing, Darrell, is authenticity. You have to be authentic when it comes to this, because sports changes all the time, and unfortunately, older people like us now, we have to adapt. We old folks. We have to adapt to this world of sports. Back then, it was the regular seasons mattered more. Now it feels like college basketball and football and regular season was just, man, we got the playoffs, whatever. No, back then it felt like everything was important. Everything made a statement. You know what I mean? So, hey, that's where my love and passion comes from sports.
I mean, that's a good start right there, young man. It's a good start. But let's talk about your journey through college. You persevered through high school. You go to the Hale State out there at Virginia State University. Take us on your journey through college and what prepared you for your career right now in the sports world.
Quite frankly, I wasn't supposed to even go to college. I'm just going to be real. There are people throughout my life that said, this guy is going to nothing more than a community college. He's not going to go anywhere. But I have to give the ultimate respect, even though we butt heads, because we do. We always do. But I have to give the ultimate respect to my mother, because that woman believed in me. She told everybody what this young kid at the time was going to be. Oh, no, just let him be. He's not going to be anything. Don't take him seriously. She pushed me. And, my final year of high school, those little stupid SOLs, I wasn't supposed to graduate. And I wasn't supposed to graduate because I could not pass the math, I guess. I was not good at math. And I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm going to tell you about that. But Yeah, she pushed me, and I finally passed the math, and I graduated. I filled out. Actually, when I graduated high school, I went to the Urban Journalism Workshop at VCU. That prepared me for journalism because it was a whole bunch of people. They're really smart, showed me the way. So that basically helped me get into Virginia State. So hey, shout out to her. Shout out to my father too, because what he did was he pushed me. He pushed me when I didn't want to be pushed. He let me know not to quit. And my stepdad always was there for me, different type of things like that. My stepmother give me encouragement, but being hard on me. My parents and my step parents, they were really tough on me. They were hard on me, and that was important because in this game of life that we're playing here, where you got to work and you're trying to make it into the sports world, you got to grind. So they definitely taught me that. When I got to Virginia State, I had a teacher. I cannot remember her name, but I'm telling you, man, she pushed me so hard in math. She pushed me hard. She pushed me really hard, and it helped me get that focus I needed. So not only was I working at the time through college, but I was able to I went to classes. I stayed focused. I did what I was supposed to do. I didn't let things distract me. I don't think I went to one party in my 4 years of college. I don't think I went to one party because I was either working or I was focused on my craft. And actually in college, that's when I got my internship for the NKCC News. And shout out to Andre Jones and Mr. Chamberlain and the family for helping me get through that. I was an intern. I learned how to use the camera. I learned how to do writing, and I learned how to write better. And shout out to Dr. Holsopple. If I'm getting this wrong, I believe he's Irish. He's an Irish American, and nobody liked the dude. They were like, "Oh, this dude is such a racist," blah blah blah. But guess what? He liked this dude right here. This dude right here, that dude right there put a camera in my hand for the first time, and man, I haven't put one down in 12 years.
Yeah, it's crazy how those.
So that's my journey through college, man, and just grinding, bro, grinding. Like I remember getting off sometimes at midnight. I work a 4 to 12 or a 12 to 8. Had to be in class by 9 a.m. I'm taking my breaks, writing the paper in the office area, trying to get it printed because I got to work. You know what I'm saying? I remember times when my car broke down. I had to do this and do that to get to college because I love the grind so much. So that's my other message. If you want it bad, you're going to make it happen because you're going to go through obstacles. And, college for me, hey, nobody gave it to me. I earned it. That's when we were still earning. They weren't giving out. They weren't just giving it away. Earn it.
And that's the same, what you're saying to me is everything that I've learned about you since the time that I've known you. I've never seen a person that just kind of like, they have the determination no matter what. I've seen you drive when you probably shouldn't have been driving, trying to get to VCU events or trying to get to whatever event it is. But you always worked your butt off, and you always had this determination that, I'm going to make it happen. And, that part of it is one of the things I've always admired about you. And when people say, what do you think about hardest working man I know? And you always improving.
What about the night we went to do the WNBA finals? You almost had to take me to the hospital.
Yeah. That was,
remember that?
Yeah, we got the picture. There's a picture of Robb and me at the end of the game with our pink vest on that they gave us for photography. And I could tell Robb was like he was out of it, but we was able to get back. And I didn't have to run my man to the hospital, but it was just one of those things you just know that somebody's got a passion for it and that really cares about what he's doing. Speaking of that, we now you have a multitude of things. Yes, you're a LegacyMaker sports journalist, but and you also do your thing for Charles City and New Kent County. You out there not just doing sports. You're covering the school bowl events. You're covering everything. You do all of that stuff.
You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. I want to talk about that real quick. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, Robb Johnson Media, Robb Johnson Entertainment. I mean, look, he's got multiple platforms getting your brand out there. Tell us a little bit about all that.
So here's the thing, man. Like, I have gone through a roller coaster this year because I did a court case maybe about 2 months ago that really affected me. I don't want to get into much of the details because it's disturbing to this day. But yes, what a lot of people don't understand is I actually wanted to be an investigative reporter before I even did sports. It just so happens I'm really good at sports, and I can take a break from it, come back and do it really well. But it's just been rewarding because see, what I do is I do, like you said, school board meetings. I do grand openings. I do other little things. I do big things where, people's lives are basically, people's lives are affected, through board of supervisor meetings in Charles City, in New Kent. I was the one person one time who stopped. I'm not gonna say I stopped it, but I reported on a possible gun range that was supposed to happen in New Kent County. And because of my reporting, they ended up getting shut down. You know what I'm saying? Right. I had to make sure I wasn't getting followed. That's another thing about journalism. You got to make sure people ain't following you. Because listen, ain't everybody ain't happy about your reporting. I mean, I've been in courtrooms. I've done court cases where people have been convicted of drugs when I'm thinking, man, they planted that man. They planted on that man. I'm not saying anybody did that, but I'm just saying things sometimes look a little suspicious. Right. Make sure you hire a good lawyer, not a public defender.
They just trying to get through. Them public defenders just trying to get through.
They're trying to get through, man. But no, in all seriousness, though, I mean, when you watch court on Law and Order, it is nothing like the actual court. I mean, the proceedings, all these different things, and it's stressful. Stressful on the reporter, it's stressful on the court reporter, on the person who's taking notes. It's stressful on the judge. It's got to be stressful on the person who's possibly going to go to prison or going to go home that same night. Right. So, that and just making the people happy, man. Like I really get joy from seeing smiles on people's faces when I go to these games and different things like that. I've always loved my community in Charleston, New Kent area, stuff like that. I do want to grow one day. I want to get bigger and I want to go to something bigger and better. But until that happens, I'm going to enjoy doing what I'm doing here. And that's one thing that I've enjoyed about LegacyMaker. We've grown. And for the people who would say, well, how long is the journey going to take? Folks, it takes a long time.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending journey.
Some people don't start making. Some people make decent money through their late 20s and 30s, but some people really don't start making until they get to their 40s, right? And stuff like that. And it takes time to build. And that's what I've been doing these years is building. So when my opportunity does come, I'm not gonna say my opportunity. I'm gonna say our, because I look at myself as an extension of LegacyMaker, through an extension of everything I do. Because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for LegacyMaker Sports Network. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people just giving me that key to life. It's funny because we stepped on VCU's floor, and it was just like, wow, it's amazing. And now it's just like, I'm not saying we take it for granted, but now we just go to stadiums like, okay, cool, let's get to work.
Yeah.
And that's when you know that it's all about the grind. And I'll say this as well: anybody wants to get into sports media, you can't be biased.
Can't be. I mean, I agree with you on that. Right? I think on certain aspects, you there's a part. Now, if you're doing your own podcast and you're like,
exactly,
I'm all about this, that's different. But when you're in these rooms, there's a way that you have to be able to be, neutral. Because, like, I'll give you an example, and I think you understand it just as much as anybody. Packers are playing Commanders. Mm-hmm. I want to fan out. There's a part of me that wants to fan out, but I know that in that post game, I gotta ask Aaron Rodgers a question, or at the time, I gotta ask Coach McCarthy a question at the time. And I can't look like, hey, Coach McCarthy, can you tell me about this? No, you have to be in there. You have to ask the right question. It's like that time me and you went to the Carolina Panthers and Commanders, or at the time Redskins game together, and you had to ask Cam Newton that question at the end of you asked Cam Newton that question at the end of the hour wait that we had to wait just for Cam to get in there because he was already mad. We had to wait a whole hour for Cam. He was already mad because they lost, and Rob hit him with that question, and it was a really good question because he really thought about it before he said what he said. But I think he wanted to, let be known what he wanted to be known. And that's the part of it that, you can't take this and just be like, oh man, whatever, No, you have to really be smart about what you say to these players, these coaches, because they may never want to talk to you again if you go in there and you're too biased or you're too overjoyed. You have to be professional. You just have to be.
Yeah. I mean, remember the time too when we did the Browns versus Commanders. I know at the time people were thinking about, we want to ask Deshaun Watson questions about what happened. Well, no, I asked him strictly about football. So the next time the Cleveland Browns were to see us, you know what they're going to think? Man, these guys kept it football. They weren't trying to be like gotcha media. No.
Yeah.
No, being gotcha media will get you only so far. It'll only get you so far. And I'm not saying you can't criticize anybody, you can't do reporting, but you got to be smart about it. Well, you got to be able to know how to play the game. And that's one thing I wish people understand. You got to know how to play the game when it comes to the sports thing, because it is politics. And if you want to be in those certain rooms, you have to know what to do at certain times.
That's true, 100%. Not everybody wants to be TMZ. I mean, look, TMZ is TMZ, and that's what they love. That's fine and dandy.
Unless you got millions and billions behind you, you don't want to be TMZ.
Right. And then you got to be able to have that. You have to be able to look past that. For us, I love what we built. I think that as an organization, as a team, that we've been able to kind of grow over these.
Keyword team. This has been a team.
It's been a team. I mean, that's people in the past that have been with us up until now. So always appreciate all those people that have been a part of this in some form of the fashion throughout that time frame. And we're not here without them in some form of the fashion. And now we're about to technically enter year number 7 here, August the 11th. So it's a very exciting time. But the growth continues. Continues.
And that's a touchy subject for me, because about 7 years ago I nearly lost my life on August 11th. So hey man, I came up out that hospital, and we got the ball rolling.
And from that, it was crazy. It was on the same day, wasn't it? It sure was.
Yeah, oh, man. Yeah. Because I remember I texted you about that too, man. I was like, man, but hey, man. Got up at that hospital. Our first event was 810 Media Day in DC, I believe, in 2017. And look, man, you've had some crazy time. Not only did we have that, we lost my wallet in DC, but we got it back.
Oh yeah. So all right, but before we move on to the next one, this is a funny story. Me and Rob are going to WNBA game. I want to say they were playing.
It was Mystics in Atlanta.
Mystics and Dream, and so we're going to this game. And so we get on the train, take the metro. Rob's like, yo, Darrell, my wallet is gone. I know, what do you mean? My wallet, Darrell, my wallet. And you can see it on his face. He's like, Darrell, I just don't need this. Now, we had to backtrack a little bit. We got lucky, and we were able to find the wallet. I think one of the train people had it. I don't know how we got this lucky, but we did. And it kind of saved the day. We're able to get back and keep going from there. But I do remember I almost forgot about that, Rob. I almost forgot about that. Man, he almost lost his wallet. He did almost lose his wallet. That was crazy.
But that goes to the grind, because we could have panicked, but hey, we backtracked.
Yeah,
got it back. The great people of DC helped us out, and we went and did our work.
Yep, and we still made it to the game on time. But
that's the key. And I'm being serious when I say that. That's the key. Because see, we have been procrastinating. We've been late for the game, but no, we were there on time because we made sure we took every precaution, because we know how to be professionals. So I know people laugh, joke at the stories. I mean, we laugh at it too. But the ultimate lesson today is about a lesson. We're making lessons today. It's about being a professional. And that day we were professional because we got there. We were supposed to get there.
Still made it on time. I remember we still made it on time. It was crazy. I'm like, you know what? But that's the thing, and that's another quick advice for you guys out there. If you're getting into this game, get in. You're going to an arena, going to the event. Get there early. Scout what's going on. Get a feel for everything before you get going, and really go out there and make yourself great at this. You know what I'm saying? And all those years of us going there. Now, there's a lot of times that I don't maybe not go to the pregame as much as I used to, but for the most part, I try to go as early as possible. Get a feel for what's going on, the atmosphere, talking to different other reporters, journalists. That's a very big part. Kind of get some of their knowledge, not maybe steal from them, but kind of just get an idea of what they're talking about.
More like them stealing from us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've seen that before too. So it's just one of those things, y'all. Now, before we head to our next segment, we do have one topic we have to talk about, something that's kind of near and dear to Mr. Johnson's heart. Now, look, we all know Rob is a reporter of all things. He's not biased. He will tell you how it is about whatever team. But we know there's two teams that are kind of close to his heart. There's a couple other ones in there, the Bulls, the Braves. We could get into those. But there's two, with football season on the horizon that we got to talk about. And that is the Cowboys and the Miami Hurricanes. Now, myself, Robb Johnson, Russ Telefero, Jay Quimby, Arturo Jones, Xavier Jones, Justice Miller, Travis Cheeks, and then we got Ty Tracy, who will also be joining us down at the ACC Media Day here in a couple days. And with that being said, like, we're going to have a chance prime time. So we'll get a chance to talk to Miami a little bit more. So you may see a little bit of that Miami talk on the Robb Johnson Sports Show a couple days after that. But we'll talk about that. But with that being said, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Hurricanes. So first, we'll get into Dallas. Last year, 12-5 on the season. The number 2 seed in the NFC. They were 5th in defense, 5th in offense. They won the NFC East, and they lost to the Packers in the wild card in a very, very tough game for Dallas fans. I'll be honest with you, as a Packers fan, as a person I call myself a Packers enthusiast at this point in my career. As a Packers enthusiast, I said to myself, I was surprised. I truly was surprised how this game ended because, I know Green Bay had the talent to win the game. I didn't see it happening. I didn't see it happening in that way. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that said, you look at last year, Rob, and you going into this year. What are your thoughts about this Dallas team heading into this year, and then what everything means?
First of all, number one, did I not tell you about those 2 receivers coming out of college out of Nevada and North Dakota State?
You did.
Said, watch out for that Romeo Dobbs, and watch out for that Christian Watson. And lo and behold, yes, sir, we saw what happened. So this is how I feel, right? This goes back to my point about the regular season. Darrell, you can't make the playoffs unless you do what?
You got to win.
You got to win in the regular season.
Season.
The way that I look at the Dallas Cowboys is this. And, of course, as you know, I don't talk about the Cowboys a lot. I mean, there's publications, there's people on the internet that talk about the Cowboys more than I ever will.
They're blue in the face. They're blue in the face.
I do have Cowboy talk with Robb Johnson. I'm hoping to bring that back by August. I keep promising y'all, but I will bring it back. I promise. Talk Dallas Cowboys. But what can you really do? I tell this to Cowboys fans. Just remember the fact that when Troy Aikman went down, who the quarterbacks were. Yeah, Quincy Carter. Yeah, what was it? Hutchinson.
Steve Berline.
Randall Cunningham, who was still trying to hold on by a thread.
John Kitna.
Had Ryan Lee for a game or two.
John
in the last 2 decades, you pretty much have had Romo and Dak, and they've had success. You're not going to always win a championship, folks. It's like it's like the guy, and I can't talk about pushback hairlines. I know my hairline's not the greatest, but that pushback hairline brother on TV that's always like to scream about the Cowboys. His Knicks ain't won since 1972. In fact, everybody talk about the Cowboys. I understand the 49ers. The 49ers have been to the Super Bowl, but technically, their drought is longer than the Cowboys.
Yep.
So
and they've lost 3 Super Bowls since then.
They've lost 3 Super Bowls. Now, have they been to the Super Bowl? Yes, they have. But here's the thing, folks. We say this every year. We sit back and we just look and we say, man, why can't other teams get some shine? Why can't we talk about the Jaguars more? I mean, they are obsessed. And you know why a lot of people are obsessed with the Cowboys? Because they have no freaking content. They have no content. They can't talk about anything because that's what's all that's trending. See, a LegacyMaker, Robb Johnson's Media, we talk about everything in sports. In fact, we were the ones talking about women's sports before a lot of people even thought about women's sports. I just want to put that in there real quick.
You got to throw it in there because it's true.
But my outlook for the Cowboys, I think that their defense is going to be better than people think. People got to remember they lost a top 5 corner last year and still won 12 games, and within the first 3 games. The schedule's going to be tough. The Commanders going to be a little better. Never mind. The Giants will be unless Drew Lock is playing. I don't really. Now they do have some good receivers in there now with Malik Neighbors, some other good weapons. So I do think the Giants will be better. And the Eagles, we just have to see what Saquon is going to be. I'm telling you right now. I was sitting with my dad the other day, and I told him, I said something about Kellen Moore being an offensive coordinator. He's like, "You're lying." He said, "Look it up." I said, "I think I know this." Look, I got on the phone and showed it to him. He started laughing. He's like, Eagles ain't winning this year. Because, look, man, I think the Eagles can be a good team this year, but why would you go out and hire Kellen Moore? After what he did in Las Vegas, what he did in Vegas, we did in Los Angeles last year. But yet still, EB got to go to college and get a job after he worked a miracle. But by the way, let me just say this. Hey, Darrell, remember I was called a hater and everything else because of a certain individual from North Carolina? I tried to tell people, but nobody wanted to listen. What happened?
I mean,
where's he
called
at?
It.
Is he still there? Oh, is Sam Howell still in Washington? Calling Sam Howell. Oh no, he's up in Tacoma. Anyway, yeah. So I think that the Cowboys can contend for the division. Do I think they're winning the Super Bowl? Hell no. Do I think that they can at least get to the second round of playoffs? Probably. But that game against San Francisco, after they come back from their bye week, is going to tell us everything. The first game is Cleveland. I think Cleveland can beat them by at least 15, 20 points. Now, if they beat Cleveland, I'll be shocked. But that San Francisco game is going to tell us everything we need to know about the Dallas Cowboys in the middle of the season. It's going to tell us everything we need to know. And their running game. What is their running game going to do? I mean, they don't have Pollard anymore. But, hey, I do like Rico Dow. I do like Deuce Vaughn. Zeke actually had decent numbers last year for a very bad New England Patriots team. He slimmed down. He went back to number 15 out of Ohio State. So we'll definitely see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing about Zeke, I got to see him play when they played Washington in New England last year, and so he didn't, it was still like you can tell he was getting his footing, and towards the end of that season, he was very, very good for that team. I mean, he looked a little bit like Zeke of old. I think he was still trying to get adjusted to the New England way, but now you're going back to Dallas. You know the Dallas way. And I don't think he's going to be the star there. I think it'll be a running back by committee type of dream that they have there. But when you got short yardage situations, I think Zeke can still be very effective. And I think that will really help them out. But it's a big year for Dallas because, next offseason can be a completely different dream depending on how this season goes.
And they got $65 million in cap space next year.
Yeah.
Depending on how they sign their players, etc. So, but the biggest thing, but the one thing nobody take from the Cowboys, they draft really well.
They've drafted, especially the last couple of years, Rob. They've done really good the last couple of years.
So if you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, you're looking at Michael Parsons special, which I'll talk about later. Hopefully, if I wake up at 4:00, and if I wake up for episode, I believe it's episode 65 of the Robb Johnson Sports Show Day, and then me and Larry are doing 66 tomorrow as we debate Angel Reese versus Anna Kournikova. Issue the new Anna Kournikova. Just a little tease for you guys. Yeah, that's the dream. But no, I think that if you could trade for Michael Parsons and find a sucker to give you multiple first round picks, maybe some second round picks, because everybody knows my prediction. I think he's either Michael Parsons. If you trade him, you either trade him to Arizona, who's got $88 million in cap space, Pittsburgh, who's got 70, and Washington. Yeah, if he goes to Washington, that'd just be fun.
Well, I think Washington has a strong case at it. With Dan Quinn being there, and obviously, Parsons has known Quinn for the last couple of years, pretty much his whole career. And so you go somewhere where you're familiar. Here's the thing: Bobby Wagner I think he's gonna be great for Washington. I'm not saying maybe statistically this year, but that veteran leadership, the All-Pro, the potential future Hall of Famer, and Bobby Wagner is gonna help that linebacker room get better. And we've already seen hints of it. When Bobby says I'm out of here, and Parsons is up for the deal, don't be surprised.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. We've seen what Jeremiah Trotter did when he went to Washington.
Everybody that goes to Washington is crazy.
But free agents usually don't work out there, and then for some reason they go to somewhere else. But like I said, for Washington this year, it's all about basically for a division, right? If you're Cowboys, I think you upgrade from Biotis, because Biotis was not gonna say he was overrated, but he kind of had his moments. You got to protect your quarterback. Washington has to protect their quarterback. Philly must protect their quarterback. And it's going to look different having a new center in there, and you got to get adjusted to new players. It's about chemistry. And the Giants definitely got to protect Daniel Jones or Drew Lock. So that's the whole NFC. But like I said, whoever can protect their quarterback and whoever can establish a good running game and play the best defense, I think will win the NFC East. The Cowboys should be the number 2 team in the division, because right now there is no reason the Eagles should not be the favorite.
There's no reason. Unless they do what they did last year and fall apart at the end of the season.
The only excuse they have is Nick Sirianni. The only thing I can say is the only reason they hired Kellen Moore because ultimately they want him to be the coach. Like I said, when the NFL wants something, they want something.
Yeah.
And the NFL, I know for sure, wants 2 things right now. They want Kellen Moore to be a head coach, and they want the Cowboys to keep losing because it's good for TV.
Yeah, Kellen Moore messed up a long time ago when he didn't take certain head coach jobs in Miami or Atlanta, and now he's just sitting there as an.
I don't think Atlanta or Miami are mad about that now either.
No, they can't be. I mean, they're probably extremely happy about that. Now let's go over to the Hurricanes. I know. I'm sorry, Rob. Last year, 7-6 record. And they did make the postseason or had a bowl game. They were 3-5. I know. They were 3-5 in the ACC. They finished 10th in the ACC. They were 6th in the conference in defense, 3rd in the conference in offense, and they lost the Pinstripe Bowl to Rutgers. And I know one person that was smiling about that, Mr. Ross Teleferro, 31-24. Rob, the expectation for this Miami team over the last 10 years, maybe we'll go longer, since they won those national championships early 2000s, they brought in coaches. Every time around, there was this hype, there was this spark. They bring in former players. They bring in, people that, have connections to the Miami Hurricane way. And unfortunately, it just hasn't worked. And it's crazy because it's like you would think Miami, of all places, would be able to recruit in Florida the way they needed to. Maybe the leadership, who knows what it is, but as somebody who knows the team and has a passion for this team, what were your thoughts on last year, and what do they have to do this year to show up and show out in the ACC? Because it's been a long time since we talked about the Hurricanes dominating.
So first game, they beat Miami, Ohio 38-3. They beat A&M 48-33. Everybody was all excited. Oh, they beat A&M. They beat Bethune-Cookman 48-7. They go to Temple. Temple's not an easy place to go to now.
Yeah.
It's not like the days when Michael Vick was running on carpet and running for like 3,000 yards a quarter against them.
Yeah.
41-7. Then the infamous game on October the 7th. Miami has the lead. All they had to do is kneel. They run the ball.
I remember that.
Said ball gets fumbled. I think I messaged you that night. I don't think we can repeat on air what I said.
No, he was hot. He was hot, y'all.
The players were already they were done. Their mindset was like, we won this game. Kitchens gives up the long pass. Georgia Tech wins, and a miracle. I don't know if anybody owed somebody money that night. I don't know if somebody made a bet. I can't tell you. But they lost that game 23-20. And that set in motion bad things. They lost North Carolina 41-31. They beat Clemson in a miracle. Clemson wasn't even good, and they somehow beat them. Miami folks losing my, we beat Clemson. I'm like, they gave you the game.
It's not the same Clemson.
They're not the same Clemson. Then they beat UV. They beat their nemesis UVA 29. That's their nemesis. Because UVA can always stay claim that they closed the Orange Bowl.
We gotta have something.
Then they go to NC State, lose 20-6. Then, for some ungodly, forsaken reason, they go to Florida State November 11th. I'm thinking they're going to be 49-0. And you know something? I think this may have been the game where Florida State lost their national championship berth. Now that I'm thinking about it, they'll beat Miami 27-20. Which was okay.
Yeah.
Then they play Louisville at high noon at Hard Rock. They lose 38-31. Then they beat Boston College 45-20. So basically, outside the NC State game, you lost by basically nothing. But it was set in motion by the Georgia Tech game. So what do we have now? They have a player named Cameron Ward from Washington State. He is probably, I believe, the last Miami Hurricane to go in the first round of quarterback was Bernie Kosar, I believe. I got to check it. I don't remember. He may have gone later. Maybe Vinny Testaverde. I have to go back and research it. However, this is the most talented quarterback Miami's had since Ken Dorsey came to the door.
That's saying a lot.
You got Xavier. You got Reshebo. You got other weapons. You got the running back. You got Moalago, who is the linebacker. You got you have a team. And Darrell, when I tell you this schedule, if they somehow go and beat the Gators in the Swamp, if they beat them, there's no reason this team should lose more than 2 games.
Right.
Because they got Florida State, they got some other tough teams. Virginia Tech, as I've been telling you, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, they're going to be good this year.
Virginia Tech. Virginia, and if you look at Virginia Tech's schedule, good God, it's soft.
Oh, they got a really light schedule. We talked about that. I talked to Joey about that too. You know,
Virginia Tech's got a chance, but Miami has a chance as well. Mario Cristobal has to get it done in the next 2 years because what are they gonna do next? Nick Saban ain't coming out of retirement to coach in Miami.
No, not at all.
He ain't coming out of retirement to coach in Miami. He has to get it done because, like I said, man, their schedule after Florida, they set up for him. And with Cam Ward, those weapons, that defense is going to be better this year. We'll see how it goes, man. But now that we have you have to be in the top 12. In my opinion, if Miami can somehow get by Florida, get by Virginia Tech, and then get by Florida State, to me, there's no reason they shouldn't be a top 12 team. But we got to see it first because, they've let a lot of people down. And I remember a couple years back, I don't know if you remember that year where they destroyed Notre Dame at Hard Rock. And they were undefeated going into, I believe it was Pittsburgh, and got mollywopped. And they got mollywopped by Clemson.
They were like 6-0, right? They were 6-0.
Yeah. No. It was more than that. They were undefeated at the end of the season. Went to, I believe it was day after Thanksgiving, went to Pittsburgh and got mollywopped. Yeah, they got mollywopped, and then they got mollywopped by, because everybody was like, oh, they're going to beat Clemson. And when Pittsburgh beat them, I was like, oh, man.
It's going to be bad from here.
But yeah, man, like I said, Miami, just like the Cowboys, are cursed. January 97, they lose to Carolina. Ain't been the same since. And I'm big on history. When they lost to the Panthers that day, they ain't been the same since. 2002 national championship game, when the infamous pass interference was called.
Terrible call.
That game changed the trajectory of Miami's future. But you know what also hurt Miami? And I know a lot of Miami fans aren't going to like this. When they left the Big East, they left a very favorable schedule. If you actually go back and look at some of the games Miami used to play, they played some tough teams. But they used to play Long Beach State, teams like that.
Long Beach State.
Yeah. So then when they went to the ACC, things got hard. They got rough. So any Miami Hurricanes fan or administration think about going to the SEC, go sit in the corner.
Don't do it.
Go sit in the corner.
Because
your record against the SEC is not good. Go sit in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, don't make the mistake Florida State and Clemson are about to make. Trying to run away because they've had some decent success and won some national championships, and you want to go to the SEC where it's going to be a slaughter fest. Look, Texas and Oklahoma, I think, are going to hold their own here and there. They're going to be able to get the recruits. They're going to be able to do their thing. But if you're Florida State, and then neither conference wants them, so it looks like if that's the case, they may be going to Big 12 or the Big 35 or whatever it is now. But
like I said, man, just look at it, right? You could go from being really good a couple years to being really bad. Look at the Patriots. I mean, I explain this all the time to folks. Be careful what you wish for. And my base examples are two programs, Nebraska and Tennessee. They had it good in the early 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, and they got greedy. Oh, we don't want Philip Fulmer no more. We don't want our coach Nebraska no more. What happened since then?
Man, I miss good Nebraska, man. I was a big Tommy
Frazier.
Man. Hey, Tommy Frazier was my favorite college quarterback of all time.
When Nebraska was good, that was college football. When you had Nebraskas and all that. Even look at a team like Missouri. Missouri was in the SEC cellar for years after Macklin and the crew left. Now they're getting back to things. But yeah, man, you got to really be careful what you wish for. Look at Colorado. Colorado, when they left the Big 12, what happened to them? They fell off the face of the earth. Now they're back in the Big 12. But that's college football, man. And like I said, I'm a Hurricanes fan. I know what the roller coaster is like. I remember the night that they went in and there was all the hype when they beat Marcus Vick and the Virginia Tech Hokies. Everybody was losing my 07 Hurricanes. Then he lost to Georgia Tech. So let's move on, Darrell.
It's like super highs, super lows. Well, look, there it is. There's the Cowboys and Hurricanes outlook from Robb Johnson. Now, y'all, it's time for our next segment. It is time for the Robb Johnson version of Quick Ones.
Quick Ones.
Robb Johnson, are you ready for the Robb Johnson version of Quick Ones here on 101?
I mean, why wouldn't I? I'm Robb Johnson. What are you talking about? I'm Robb L. Esquire,
Wow, Esquire. First one on quick ones. You know, our common ones here. First, your favorite sports moment. This could be personal. This could be as a fan. Whatever. What's your favorite sports moment?
Oh, God, man, that's
I know it seems simple, but it's actually a tough question.
Like, God, that's man, that's whoo. I would have to say when the Dallas Stars beat the Buffalo Sabres and they haven't got back and won a Stanley Cup yet. Good God. probably the Stars winning, and I would have to say honorable mention when the Braves beat the Indians in '95 and I beat the no. You know what? I'm not gonna go that moment. I'm gonna go when the Marlins beat the Yankees in that classic 0-2 World Series. I loved that World Series. That span of World Series when you had the Giants and the Angels and the Yankees and the Marlins and the Yankees against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
classic baseball.
I can't remember. Is it Josh Beckman? Was it Josh Beckman was the pitcher?
Yeah, and you remember?
Beckett. Josh Beckett. And
what was his name? He played for the Tigers. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, you talking about Dontrell Willis?
No, not Dontrell. I'm talking about what's his name? You know, he went to Detroit, got the big
Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera.
Future Hall
He
of
went
Famer.
from, man, listen, I can't talk because I'm a big dude myself. That man went from hungry to not want to be hungry no more.
He was hungry.
He was small. He went to Detroit, got that big contract, man. But look, no, that was my moment, man, because you remember he was what, 19, 20 years old?
Yeah.
That was like that stretch of baseball for those years was that. Oh, and another honorable mention when Cody Rhodes lost to Roman at WrestleMania.
the first matchup,
yeah.
Made you happy. Next one. What's your worst sports moment?
Oh God, that's easy. That's easy.
Everybody always has the easy.
Very easy. I got two. I got two. Worst. The worst of the worst. First of all the stupid people around me, grown people crying and losing their minds when God rest his soul, Owen Hart kicked Shawn Michaels in the head and they thought he was dead. People went to VCU MCV at the time to check on Shawn Michaels because they thought he was dead. Like, I'm just like, I'm a kid and y'all are traumatizing me. And then Goldust came out. But anyway, look, for Superstars taping. But no, the absolute worst moment in sports in my life, and it's not even close. The Cowboys had beaten the Minnesota Vikings, beat the snot out of them wild card weekend, right? I'm at my dad's house, we chilling. I remember we went to Arby's. I had curly fries. Remind you folks, this was in 97. This was in January of 97. Went to my Uncle Harmon's house. God rest his soul, too. Such a great man. He loved his Carolina Tar Heels. God rest his soul. He had Cowboys paraphernalia all over the house. Again, God rest his soul, Uncle Harmon. We went to Uncle Harmon's house. That's the house we went to watch the sports. Cowboys played Carolina Panthers.
Oh, God.
And all I remember, Deion got hurt. Michael Irvin got hurt. Dallas was in the game. I've rewatched that game once a year for like the last 10 years. And I'm going to probably rewatch it again before the football season. That game changed everything for the Dallas Cowboys. That changed everything because not only did you have Barry Switzer there, I believe if Jimmy Johnson was on the sidelines, they'd win that game.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman was starting to break down. You know, Deion, for as great as Deion was, Deion started to break down during that contract with the Cowboys.
Right.
So why Washington gave him a contract, I don't know. But anyway,
They used to do
that. I mean, I remember we're sitting there with 2 minutes to go, and the Cowboys are down by like 13. And my dad was like, "Let's get ready to go." I was like, "Dad, still got 2 minutes to go." He was like, "No." I was like, "I can stay out. Because I was just like, I was like, I cannot believe this. They're about to lose to Carolina. And I told him, and I remember because usually the year before we had a Super Bowl party, right? For the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The next week I remember my dad fell asleep. The NFC Championship game was the Packers against the Panthers. And then the AFC Championship game was the Jaguars against the Patriots. And mind you, folks, at this time, those teams were boring except for the Packers.
Yeah, it was a little rough.
And if anybody if anybody remembers Carolina going to Green Bay that next weekend, how much of a catastrophe that was.
It was a great weekend for me.
Because I don't care what you say. And you can bring Leroy Butler back on here, and I don't care. He can lie through his teeth. I don't care what he says. He knows Leroy Butler. Come here, I'm talking to you. In fact, let me get close to this. Leroy Butler. You can lie all you want to, sir, and you can come back on here one-on-one. But you know I'm telling the truth. You know what Dallas did to you all those years. You know damn well that Super Bowl ain't complete because you wanted to beat that Dallas team. You got your revenge the next year. You got your revenge the next year when Dallas came to Green Bay after I believe they got stomped by Tennessee on Thanksgiving or before, and you all beat them then. But I believe Dallas had beat you guys 9 times in a row.
Yeah, I wanted that.
They couldn't beat them. And I'm gonna say a name that haunts you in your dreams. Chris Bonial. It haunts you in your dreams, Chris Bonial. You know what that name is.
Chris Bonial.
Yeah. You know what that name is. So basically, you got the consolation prize by playing Carolina, and you took your absolute just your pain out on them. Because the Panthers weren't ready to play. They had the Super Bowl. They had beaten the Dallas Cowboys. They had knocked out. They ended the dynasty. It's like Ohio State ended the dynasty. But yes, that's one of my most painful sports moment. And that's when the world changed. Remember, 96, Tupac died. 3 months later, once Pac died, we didn't win no more Super Bowls. Bring back Pac.
Bring back Pac. Yeah, Prince Diana died like a couple weeks later, something like that. It was crazy.
We won a Super Bowl since Pac been alive.
Oh my goodness.
Since Pac lost his life. So that ain't right. You know?
You gotta change. Next one. Your favorite athlete of all time.
Damn.
Tough. Yeah, they seem simple.
Oh, I don't care if you're not. Hey. Cynthia Cooper.
Hey, that's a great answer.
Because for all you clowns, I'm talking to you clowns out there talking about Caitlin Clark's growing the game. Cynthia Cooper used to sell at the Toyota Center. She played in one of the greatest games of all time when Teresa Weatherspoon hit that 3 from half court.
Man, that game was crazy. That game was crazy.
Yeah. All you all talking about this and that, go back and look at what those ladies did, how they appeared on shows like Martin. Not Cynthia Cooper, but other players. Look at the great players like Dawn Staley, etc. Hey, it's not my fault that you guys live on ignorance. It's not my fault. But yeah, Cynthia Cooper is one of my favorite athletes of all time. Because just imagine if she and Cheryl Miller would have been younger and they would have formed the WNBA back then. Come on now.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see what Cheryl Miller would have done in the WNBA. I thought it would have been great.
Cynthia Cooper, one of the best athletes, man. 4-time champion. I mean, she had a 50-piece, I believe, one time. I mean, men watched her, women watched her. I mean, it was just it was a spectacle to see. And for those who missed, and here's the other kicker. It was on NBC. That's what made it so much better. The coverage NBC did for the WNBA finals back then was just spectacular. Now I don't know what it is, but anyway.
Well, I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed that we do see the Comets again one day. The owners already expressed interest in bringing them back. I don't know if it'll be the same, but it would be just nice to, who knows, man, maybe Cynthia Cooper coaches that team. That would be great. Cheryl Swoops, somebody. Tina Thompson had a rough run at UVA, but it would be cool to see one of that fantastic.
And let me say this.
Let
me say this. Lisa Leslie's coaching for the Big 3. Hey, LA Sparks, what are you doing? Why is she not your coach? Why is Lisa Leslie not in the organization? But hey, we're not going to go there.
But that's a whole other one. All right, here. All right, so our last 2 are fun ones. First one, worst cereal you've ever had?
Nothing.
You like all cereals?
I love. Hey, listen, I've gone from. Listen, back in the day, I used to eat Cocoa Puffs. I had King. People talking about King Vitamin is nasty.
King Vitamin.
King Vitamin is the most gangster cereal ever.
King Vitamin, crazy.
King Vitamin. West Side.
Yo, King Vitamin.
King Vitamin.
Yo, my man. Hey, you know it's funny. Every time you remember Police Academy. Remember the guy who was the commissioner of he was like their boss. Not the one that was always like fighting with the guys, but the one that was like always playing with the birds and looking around and looking like he was lost or whatever. That's who the guy in the King Vitamin bug remind me of. And every time I saw him, I was like, it's the same guy.
No. So you know what? I changed my mind. what's the cereal with this? The Pops, the Pops, the yellow cereal. I mean, they were good, but they didn't get soggy. I mean, they were okay.
Yeah.
But the worst cereal of all time, Raisin Bran.
Well, yeah. All right. So
Raisin Bran sucks. I hate raisins.
Raisins, like what made me mad is when they had too many raisins in there. And it felt like there was more raisins than bran, and you just tasting like milk and raisins. Yeah, it was bad times.
And also shout out to the knockoff Lucky Charms. You suck.
Was it Lucky Stars? Lucky Stars. Next one. All right, this is gonna be a fun one. I thought this one just for you. All right, so you're producing a movie about your life. You can name 3 people in the movie. You can name 3 celebrities to be in the movie, and then who's playing Robb Johnson in the movie?
I'm playing Robb Johnson. There's no other Robb Johnson. What the hell are you talking about? Ain't nobody else playing me. They're gonna be my co-star. What are you talking about? Can't nobody play Robb Johnson.
Who's gonna be your co-star?
Can't nobody imitate the laugh that I have. Can't nobody. No, hell no. I'm gonna tell you something. Denzel come up like, hey, what you want me to do? I said, step aside, Denzel.
Step aside, Denzel. It's Robb Johnson.
My show. My show. Nobody can play me. No one. I am Robb L. Johnson, Esquire, Partner Brig.
All right, so
let me tell you something. Shout out to I know you know Jamie Foxx. Shout out to Jamie Foxx, one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Not just black, but one of the greatest of all time. That
it gets slept on.
Yeah. You know, I get my inspiration from Jamie Foxx and my confidence from.
I'm assuming is Jamie Foxx in this movie then?
Oh hell yeah, Jamie Foxx.
All right, so Jamie Foxx is in.
And we're gonna get Jamie Foxx. We're gonna get Fancy, and we're gonna get Will Smith.
Okay. All right. So all right. So those are the 3 in the movie. I'm assuming that Will Smith is playing your dad.
No, he's my butler. Listen, because here's the thing, right? You see how he treated Jeffrey Butler for all those years?
Yeah.
He's gonna be the butler now. I am the captain now.
That's hilarious. All right, everybody. That is it for the Robb
Fresh
Johnson.
Prince of Charles City.
That's it for the Robb Johnson version of Quick Ones here on One-on-One. And now it's time for us to finish this up. It is time for Robb Johnson to leave his legacy. Robb. We are so good.
Hold the hell on.
What's wrong, man? What's wrong?
I'm in a suit. I'm leaving my legacy. I ain't trying to die.
Well, we're not saying you're dead, brother. Like, no, we're not saying you're dead. We're not saying you're dead. We're like, so
I'm casket shot. What's going on here?
We're not trying to say you're dead. We don't want that. We're not at that level. But what we want to do is with this segment, there's 2 questions that we got for you. The first question is this. What type of legacy would you like to leave when you're sitting back and you're retired and you done sit back and you relax and you look over your body of work? What type of legacy do you want to leave? What type of impact do you want to say that Robb Johnson had on the sports world?
Well, first of all, I ain't gonna never die being a pamper when I'm 100 shooting pictures. So I'm gonna be in the pins. I'm gonna be in the pins shooting.
That's great.
And look, when the apocalypse happen, we gonna have like some fake sports going on. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm just writing. But no, I want my legacy to be that I made people smile, that I was able to give people hope. And listen, you could get through anything. And hopefully, like I said, one of these days, I'm bigger than life. I'm just how I feel. I feel like I'm a lot better than some of these guys and gals on TV and on the radio. And I want my legacy to be that I made a way. And I want people from Charles City to be proud of me. And I want them to know that, hey, if I can make it, you can make it. Because all the obstacles were put against me. But guess what?
That's what I like to hear, brother. That's what I like to hear. Last one on this one. Do you have any special projects going on right now that you want us to know about? Anything, you want to shout out the Robb Johnson, Robb Johnson Media? Is there anything that you want to let everybody know about? And where to find you, all that good stuff?
Oh, well, Robb Johnson Media, Robb Johnson Entertainment. If you're sensitive, don't follow Robb Johnson Entertainment because it's a funny channel. I do comedy, a little cursing here and there. So if you're sensitive, still follow it anyway. It's fun. LegacyMaker. I'm also in the process of writing scripts for myself, trying to write little movies in there, trying to write like little TV shows. I'm doing everything while still putting in my 50, 60 hours plus
that sounds about right.
Plus Plus, hey, it was a lot worse. It used to be about 90 to 100. So, I mean, I've cut down a little bit, but I might be going back to that soon. But we got the Robb Johnson Sports Show today at 4 o'clock. Again, if I can wake up, I haven't been to sleep yet. You know what I'm saying? I had to, when I got off this morning, I had to go get the beard done. I had to put on I had to put on the
$5,000 suit. Look.
Oh, 5,000? What the hell are you talking about? This is 20.
$20,000 suit.
This is 20. I mean, you see the Robb Johnson sports belt back there?
Yes.
I got to put that thing back in the case, man. That thing was at least 30 G's. Hey, let me tell you something. Ric Flair ain't got nothing on me. Ric Flair's big gold belt cost $25,000. Man, I can't tell how much that costs, man. They might come after. But anyway,
yeah, we don't want that.
I just have I got a whole bunch of stuff coming on. Make sure you guys check out LegacyMaker Sports Network. We'll be at ACC Media Day this week, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Just again, guys, stay positive, keep a level head. Try to be positive about everything. You're gonna have your down days, you're gonna have your up days. But when you have your up days, try to make the best of it. So that's pretty much it. And just keep working. That's all I can say. Keep on working.
Awesome. Now, before we get out of here, I want to give y'all a clue into next week. Next week, we will have Drew Willingham, founder and executive producer of Sartoba Media, a LegacyMaker alumni, will be joining us for that episode to talk about, his career, his life, and all that good stuff. We'll be getting into that next week, so you'll get to see Drew on here next week. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we're excited. Rob, I appreciate you, brother, sitting down and talking a little bit about the Robb Johnson story. It has been a fun one here on One-on-One for episode 131. Rob, anything you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
Hey, I just appreciate it. I appreciate you bringing me on, and I just want to continue to do great things. And shout out to Angel Reese.
You're a funny man. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 131 of One-on-One.
Viral!
Here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network, and of course, airing on the amazing Bowie Television. Once again, everybody, thank you all. We'll see you all next time.
One. Welcome to the one-on-one. When it comes to ratings, man, we number one. I get the truth, then I give them the scoop. If anybody got a question, I give them the proof.